So had they already had sex in this?
But she has no idea how to achieve critical.
Mm. Okay, that was fake. Eh, sorry,
Yeah.
she's got me watching Netflix. Hey, y'all, welcome to another episode of our The Desire and Diagnose podcast with me, your sexual health coach, Tiffany Marie, and
Brittany.
Miss J, your mental health coach. Let me fix my chair. Sorry. Okay, so if you can't tell what we are doing, or from what you just heard, I just watched the Bridgerton, right? Is it
Yes, I'm
Bridgerton?
trying to get Tiffany hooked on Bridgerton just a little.
Haven't started yet. So it's Bridgerton, episode 4, season 4, and it's at 41 minutes, is where she had me start this clip. And it's basically where a male and female are in the bed and it looks like he's doing some good motions. He had the shoulder work going, okay?
Yeah.
And she fake came. And you can tell just by watching that it's fake, just on her body positions and all of that. So, if you guys can't tell what this episode's about, you are so lost then, because we are talking about female orgasms. So, I guess we could just jump right into it, right?
Yeah.
All right. So,
I mean, we kind of like wanted to start the episode with, the intro of like what an actual couple is going through. And
yeah.
Francesca and John are actually going through it this season of, she has no idea what it is. And she actually goes through the first 4 episodes talking to various people from her mom and um, a couple other female co-stars asking, like, what does it feel like? So what does it feel like, Tiff? If you had to explain it.
Oh man. Okay. Well, that's a lot. Uh, uh,
And that's exactly the response, like, people are like, it's a sensation that you feel, like, kind of excited.
okay. So we'll take a step back. Let's go back to how orgasms kind of involved, right? So Bridgerton is set in what, like the 1800s, I think,
Something like that,
or like the
yeah. With,
1800s
like, a
era.
modern twist on it.
Mind you guys, I've never watched Bridgerton, so I have no clue about this series or episodes or any of that stuff, like, at all. So let's talk about orgasms per se and when they started. So originally, orgasms started around they've been going for years, but they weren't really talked about and discovered until about the 1850s. And that's when, if you've ever watched a movie, you can still watch it to this day. It's called Hysteria. So, Hysteria was when they really came out with a movie in regards to hysteria, is the diagnosing terms that they did back in the day with women and orgasms. And so, when it came to orgasms, they would notice that women were very irritable, they were upset, they would cry at random times, they would fight at random times, and they just weren't doing their household chores, which is cooking, cleaning, and providing stability of the home for the men back in the 1800s, right? So women started going to a doctor, and the doctors would actually started by figuring out that if they applied pressure to the clitoris muscle, that they would actually end up giving a woman an orgasm. And that orgasm would turn this woman into a happy, perky wife again, that she would go home and cook and clean again, right? And so in the 1850s, that's when they really established that orgasms with women actually helped cure hysteria, is what they called it. About 1857 was when those same doctors are the ones that actually discovered vibration, and they made the first vibration. So prior to 1857 and 1850s, you would literally go to your doctor, you'd make an appointment just like you do now. Go see the doctor because you were diagnosed with hysteria, and you would sit up in the stirrups. He would have a little curtain that went across your belly, and he would literally couldn't see from anything up, only your downtown area, right? And he would take two fingers and get in there and rub it away. And he would do this day in, day out on women for hysteria. And this is what helped cure a lot of women with hysteria because they would become happy. So they would come back every week. So in 1857, the same two doctors decided, let's establish vibration and make it a lot easier on our job. Now, when we talk about vibration, you might see our little vibrators now where they're like this small, they're super tiny, right? Back then, it was like a whole production. You'd have to like stomp on a button to get electricity to hit, to then make this little wheel turn, and that's what they would hold and vibrate. So it cut down the time of these patients. So let's talk about vibration now with orgasms, I guess you could say, or orgasms of what do they feel like. So, orgasms are all different. They constantly change. They're never the same. So maybe you had that one intense orgasm and it was just like over the top and it felt so good. You probably will never hit that orgasm again. It constantly changes and evolves, and it becomes different every single time. So, when we talk about orgasms, I always tell my clients there's five main orgasms. Now, let's be realistic when we say orgasms. There are ways of stimulating the body to achieve an orgasm. It's not the same. So, you might hear someone say, like, oh, I had a nipple orgasm. That's not true. They had a nipple stimulation, which caused it to have an orgasm. You only have one way of having an orgasm, and that's through stimulation, right? There's over 20 something different ways to make a woman stimulate to achieve an orgasm. So, the way that I kind of break down the stimulations is you have your clitoris orgasm, right? So that's the little ding dong doorbell that a lot of people don't know, that little button, ding ding, like you don't push it. If you're a DJ at home, don't like that hurts, okay? Reverse, right? So that's one way of stimulating to achieve an orgasm. And that one is a lot more intense, I would say. A lot of people feel that one a lot more. You can feel the tingling and you're kind of like, ooh, like, hey, right? And then you have your vaginal opening. And your vaginal opening for women, it's a penetration of in and out that achieves the orgasm, not to put it in and wiggle. Men, don't wiggle. I don't know where you guys are going. Our canals are only designed so much. So that orgasm is a little bit different. Sometimes you'll feel it where you can feel your muscles contract and kind of push. You might feel extra wet. That can be a sign of an orgasm. It just sometimes it's kind of like a, mm, okay, like that sucked, right? Then you've got your G spot orgasm. So your G spot is pretty much in the same area for most women, unless you have a tilted pelvis. And I can't tell you, so please do not send me pictures of your coochie. But a gyno can tell you your G spot orgasm is one of the most intense orgasms. And that stimulation is because it's connected to your vagal nerve. And your vagal nerve is literally, wait till I tell you where the spots are because you'll understand it. It connects from the back of the brainstem, goes down the neck. That's why we like our neck licked. Okay. Down to our nipples, hey yo, to the belly button, to the clitoris, to the G spot, down the vaginal canal, from the hips to the knees, all the way to the toes. So when you have a G spot orgasm, that's the one where you get like really tight and you kind of go special for a minute. You're like, and you're like, you start twitching and shit for like a week. That's the one where you really need a lot of water because you need to hydrate. And then there's the number one that all of us know how to stimulate for an orgasm. Do you know what that one is? She just did it. Faking. We are all so good at faking, guys. It's terrible, okay? Unicorns died every time we fake it. And now look at them, they're extinct.
Yes.
So there's different
However, I feel like
stimulate
guys who have experience, and they know that a woman is faking, like,
to an extent, yes.
extent.
100%. I would say some women have been, and the reason why I would say some women fake it, it's because they've never actually experienced it.
Yeah.
And that's sad because having orgasms does so much.
Yeah.
So it does so much physically, but it does so much mentally as well. So, Jay, what are some what does the mind get affected when you have an orgasm? Like, what happens to your brain?
What happens to your brain is, like, a lot of relief, and, I mean, it's, there we carry so much stress and stuff onto our body that affecting um, our main brain. Our brain, um, especially the frontal cortex, and, it like, being able to release that and not just having sex, but actually hitting your pinnacle, as Bridgerton would say, um, it's such a funny word, but actually hitting that releases all of that, and then you're filled with all this dopamine and everything else to comfort the body physically. So, it affects the brain in many ways if you're not experiencing those sensations, and there's a lot of ways that your brain is blocking it, I would say more so than holding things up there.
So when it comes to I know the guys right now are kind of like, wait a minute, we're talking about orgasms, but what about us? Okay, we're going to talk about female orgasms today, and we will talk about male orgasms next time, okay, or on
Yeah.
a later podcast. But
And I feel like guys achieve them a lot easier. It's just different for them. Their sensations are different. They have more sensitivity down there, and it's just a little lighter for them. Where I always
yeah,
say that the way to a girl's sexual um like arousal is through their heart and their brain. If you've pissed them off, they are not putting out, and if they are putting out, they're not gonna enjoy it because they hate you at that moment.
yeah,
But guys, they're like, "Boobies," and they're just, like,
like
in it.
rock hard.
Yes, they don't care, so it's not like a knock at guys. I mean, I'm jealous of them, you know?
Yeah,
And
it's
and
I
then
would say
you see the
when I was
rare unicorn girls that, like, are at the gym working out. I'm sure you've seen the meme where a girl's, like, doing hip thrusters and she has an orgasm, and that's a unicorn. That's, like, a massive rarity. It most women are not built.
No, no. And I would also go back to what affects your brain. So remember when you guys are having orgasms, and it doesn't have to be with a partner, it can be by yourself, and it doesn't even have to be with a toy, it can be with your hands, right? So having an orgasm does a couple different things for your brain. One, it's going to release endorphins. Endorphins are what makes you a happy person. That's the signal to the brain that makes you
Like
happy.
working out. Yeah,
Yep, just like working out. It's going to release those endorphins. So
right.
happy people make you not bring guns to work. So you're happy. Okay. No more resting bitch face. We all know those girls at work that have like that resting bitch face, and you're like, man, you need some dick. There's something wrong with you, some dick.
That's yeah.
Yeah, dick. So yeah, so it's going to release the endorphins that make you a happy person. It also releases dopamine. So dopamine is what gets you attracted to the high. So when you think of dopamine, think of it as you had that orgasm and then that dopamine release, and maybe it released a lot because it was a very good orgasm. That's why you try hitting that orgasm every single time because you remember that high. That's the addiction that happens with dopamine. And that's why you get so excited about doing it. Dopamine is also what is released when you do any kind of adrenaline sports. It's your fight or flight simulator. So when you do kind of like street racing and you hit that third gear, and you just go, "Meow." That high is what dopamine is released, and it makes you feel it in your body. So dopamine are a couple of the different types of synapses that are basically going to be released in the brain that make us happier people, right?
Yeah.
Now, what
It is. For a
happens?
long time too.
Yeah, and sometimes they don't release a lot. Sometimes they release a little at a time. And if you're someone I would say older that's having a problem with your hormones, orgasms are a
Why are you
way.
looking at me?
I'm not. I'm just looking at the camera.
Looking at me. She said she said, "You're having trouble with your orgasms?"
For the many followers that we have, please make sure that you have your orgasms, okay? Um, Now,
Listen, I
okay,
have my
what
orgasm just fine.
I get mine every day. It's like a morning ritual, like you brush your teeth, I get an orgasm, it's done. And did you know that you shouldn't only be having, as a woman, 1 orgasm?
A day or just
No,
period?
like, period. So, a lot of times I'll hear this thing that women are kinda like, "Oh, I me and my partner were at it, and we had an orgasm I had an orgasm, and I'm done." And I'm like, "No. You should be having, like, 2 to 3 orgasms anytime you're doing, like, play by yourself or you're with your partner." Because your body is designed to help build up. You That's why it takes us so long to get there to achieve an orgasm, is because our body is built to have multiple orgasms. And I have some clients that are like, "Oh, no, 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 no. Once I have one, I'm good because then I'm overstimulated and I don't want them to touch me more because it's too much." So this is why I explain to like clients when it comes to toys, right? You know how, like, when you're using a toy, it has, like, the low, medium, high vibration, and then it goes to, like, that "me, mer, mer, meh," right? Or it's like "me, like, it starts doing all these crazy, stupid functions. I think my autism is really kicking in today. It's like tism and bad. I gotta give you guys all sound effects, I'm sorry. So,
The fact that
the
you have it memorized is impressive.
isn't it? I know, it's pretty bad, and they're all but if you notice, like,
They're all the same.
just wait. If you guys are listening right now, go pull out your toys in your collection. Literally go low, medium, high, and then see what the next pattern is. I guarantee you it's something where it's like high and then it drops it. Yeah, and it's like, and then a pause. And then me,
And who
pause.
wants that? Who wants that?
See, so that's what everybody says. Everybody's like, why do we have these stupid functions? Those functions are designed to help stimulate the nerve endings, but also to drop your orgasm. So the minute you have an orgasm, right? Most people think that you should turn a toy off or stop having sex, right? No, slow it down. It resets the timer and rebuilds your orgasm to go again. And you could literally have an orgasm seconds away from each other, even to minutes away from each other. So if you're using a toy, don't turn the toy off. Hit the next stupid function that does that where you're like, I don't know what this is for. Yep. Hit that function, let it do that long hole. And there's like, and you're like, ah!
Okay, so what if the guy gets soft though?
So here's the rule that I always like to tell my male clients, making sure that your partner has an orgasm first. Because we know that it's way easier for men sometimes to achieve an orgasm, whereas a woman, we're like an easy bake oven, right? It takes us 12 minutes of the same motion. And I will tell you one thing, I hear a lot of women that are like, 12 minutes, like, it takes me, like, 2 seconds, okay? 2 seconds and I'm there. Okay, that's great because you are already stimulated. And what do I mean by that, right? So stimulation means a couple different things. A lot of times when you hear somebody say it takes 12 minutes of the same motion to achieve an orgasm, that's meaning that she is dry from the get-go and you have to get in there and do that work. But if you do the prepping, basically, work, meaning sexting your partner during the day, maybe talking naughty on the phone, having a romantic dinner with her coming home and you doing the dishes. Do you know how fast a woman will get wet watching her partner do the dishes without
That's that
asking?
tough, yeah.
Right? So those are things that'll like kind of preheat the oven. And then when you guys get into it, it cuts that time down for her to have an orgasm. So I always like to tell my males, let your partner finish first, at least get one in before you finish. Now, let's say you have a one pump chump hump. I said that real fast, right? Where it's like as soon as he puts it in, he's like, ah, and you're like, mother, I did,
And
I, right. So this is where it should be like, oh my God, I'm happy you got yours, but I haven't got mine. So here's my little, it'll help you. Right. And if you have I'm personally, I think it's stingy if a male gets an orgasm first and doesn't help his partner finish after.
Mhm. Oh,
I
yeah.
think that's stingy. Like, get
Yeah.
the hell out of my house then.
I mean,
No,
there's
thank
a time there's the like, if you're out of time or something like that, you guys
Mhm.
can go back to it, or if the woman's like, "I'm really just not in the mood right now, I'm glad you got yours," and there's circumstances, but
Yeah. There are times I would say that
always
women do have sex and they're just kinda like, "He got his, that's all that matters to me," like but then there's times where you need to make sure that you're getting yours. So if you're not having sex with your partner, you need to be taking care of yourself. Even if it's in the shower for, like, 3 minutes with the freaking good shower head that rotates and my shower head does not rotate, I'll just say that. It comes out full blast. So,
We've got some
why
special
would
power.
you say Why would you say, like, our mind is affecting our orgasms? Like, if we're not being able to climax, what would be things that would make that happen? Why?
Yeah. There's just too much going on up there.
Mm,
There's several things that women can get distracted with, and I think it's a lot of, like, intrusive thoughts, that are just popping into your brain, and you probably went into the sexual experience with that in your mind, and even, like, when I'm trying to and, surprise my husband when he gets home, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna put on this lingerie." If I'm laying there waiting, my mind's racing, so then by the time he even gets there, my mind is in hyperdrive of all the things, and then when you're actually intimate with your partner, I mean, it's a little bit different if you're married because I feel like you're not as self-conscious of your body as, like, a new relationship, right? But it's still, like, those are things that are racing through your brains. It's anything. You could be thinking about past experiences, and
uh-huh.
that's haunting you. Maybe there's something about your partner that's reminding you of something or someone.
Mm. A hairy
Um,
back.
um, it could be, like, worried about performance, right? Like, "Oh, I really want to, like, is he enjoying this? Am I
Right.
enjoying this? Does he think that I'm not enjoying this?" Like, that whole thing is, like, going through your mind too. Um, it If you have younger children at home and you're trying to be sneaky, then it's like, can they hear us?" Or maybe your in-laws are visiting or your brother or sister, and then you're like, "Oh, can they hear us?" So, like, if you're getting all this distracting noise going through your brain, then that's gonna take away from sex in general, but definitely the sex, you know,
100
the climax, the pinnacle.
the pinnacle. I don't think I've ever called my orgasm a pinnacle.
Neither have I, but I found it it's a very interesting word. It's
Could
our
you
word.
imagine me being single, having sex, and I get done and I'm like, thanks for that pinnacle. See you on Tuesday."
Or him, like, leaning over, "So did you reach your pinnacle? Could you
I'd be like,
feel it?"
"What? Can you spell it? If you can't spell it, you can't say it."
So do you
You
think
on the
that there
brain
are
thing.
specific, like, sexual positions that would help?
There is. There's actually quite a few different positions. So when it comes to sex with a partner on positions, right? So we kind of know our positions like as a woman when we're by ourselves. And listen, for the female clients that are listening right now that are like, I don't know. I don't know what I like. You need to figure out what you like by yourself.
Yep.
Because I think that's the big problem. So the big problem that I have with people when it comes with like sexual things in relationships like new and past, you bring a lot of what your past relationships liked into the bedroom. And I don't think that women understand their body 100% and are so afraid. I would say when you're younger, you have more shame. Like you're not going to tell like, "Hey, my clitoris is over here." When he's like rubbing the inside of your thigh because it's nighttime and he can't see. No, just me that's had that experience. Anywho, so, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think when we're younger, we're not really gonna be like
I'm not
a
gonna
gung ho to
communicate.
like
Be like, "Hey, let me
communicate
have
and
your
say,
hand."
right, like now I'll grab your hand and put you right where I want you. Blah, ah, face, right? So I think that that's the big thing too is like as you get older, you start to explore your body. And I think if women in their 20s would start exploring their body now in their 20s, that when they hit their 30s and their 40s and their 50s, like it's a whole different ball point. It's a whole different change because as you get older, that's why women, they always say women start to peak with sexual in like their 40s and 50s because we're exploring ourselves. Our kids have left the house. We are now on our own. We're either still married to our partner who loves us and wants to do everything and now we're running around the house naked, or we're single again and we're like, okay, I have to figure out how to have sex. And then you find that 20-something-year-old man who's like, I'm going to do whatever you want. And you're like, but I don't know how to touch it. Right. So now start touching yourselves, ladies. Okay. So that you can help in the bedroom. So
Yeah,
when it comes to,
and
and this is why
communicate.
positions are important, right? So let's talk about missionary. So missionary is a great position because you're able to get that connection with your partner. Um, I also think this is where the mind comes into it too, because how many times do you look at your partner and I don't know about you, but I'm always like, what are they thinking about? Is it tight? Does
And
it feel
that
good?
is where you get distracted and then you won't pinnacle.
I really think I have like ADHD because I'm like, shit, did I turn the stove off?
And that's another one. Yeah.
But then sometimes I don't think about nothing. Like sometimes I'm really in it and I'm like, oh, he about to flip me. This is his normal. Like he grabs my legs. Okay. Well, positions, missionary. So missionary is a good position, but you guys are kind of a little bit more. I wish my hand would go flat, right? So we're in this position, right? And the guy's on top, you're on your back, and the guy is doing this motion. Have your guy lay a little bit more to you and grind. The grinding of thrusting forward, either his stomach, if he's a little bit bigger on the stomach, will actually help hit right on that clitoris every time. Other things to do is normally as a woman, we keep our legs up like this in a missionary position, or they're bent, or we have one leg, right? So have your partner,
Great visual.
I
No
feel like I'm doing
scissoring.
a gang sign, size scissors, scissoring, basically. So he's going to stand on l- l- spread on top of one leg and then intertwine. So it's almost like a scissoring position, but that grinding of like his thigh or the side of his stomach will hit on that clitoris. And that's what's going to help with achieving an external orgasm, right? Other ones, reverse cowgirl. So he's on his back, right? Normal position is you on top facing him. I don't know about you, but I hate that position. I
Facing.
hate being on top and looking at my partner because when you're on top, you got like that look, like you're like I feel like I'm a dog in heat, like and then I got bad knees. So I'm trying to do the whole bouncing like we were in our 20s again. I don't bounce like that anymore. And then if I'm in with my legs bent, I'm like special trying to get off because they're locked and I get, I need to stretch more, I think is
You're
the problem.
You gotta lean forward and then just straighten out your leg and roll off.
No, that's where you need the man where he puts his legs underneath your butt and hoovers you over
Hovers
and
you
gets on
over.
top.
Yeah.
So reverse cowgirl is basically the same thing, man on back, right? And then you're on top, but your butt is facing his face. So your head is facing his legs. So the reason why this position is so good with achieving an orgasm is because again, one, visual for him. Okay, men love booties.
Booty.
They all love to look at an ass. Okay, and yes, they look at your chocolate star. Okay, so don't, and I think that's something that us as women are like, is he looking at my butthole? Right? You guys think,
100%.
yeah, I don't think that. I'm like, I hope I don't have tissue paper anywhere down.
Yes.
Right. Okay, I'll give it to you guys. Let me scoot back a little bit here because I can tell I'm getting really loud because I'm getting excited. But do you see what I'm saying? Like, I'll keep it straight with you guys. Us other women, we think about that. Like, do we have paper? Granted, now mind you, I'm a very clean person. I use wipies. Okay. So even when a guy goes down on me, I'm like, oh my God, I hope I wiped really good and I don't have like little particles
Yeah.
cause he's going to come up and be like, and I
Yeah.
feel so bad. But there are men that
Yeah.
are like, they don't give two shits. They'll fucking wipe it off and eat that thing like it's
Oh,
cake.
God.
Right. So reverse cowgirl is a really good position because you can get more of a leaned position and grind on the actual penis, but also too your clitoris is grinding as well. And that position is a really good position to use like C rings, like we talked about last week. C rings in that position are really good because that extra vibration is going to hit on that clitoris and it's going to give you kind of like a double whammy. You're going to be able to get a vaginal orgasm and a clitoris orgasm at the same time. So that's going to be like double stimulation, extra dopamine, right? The other one is laying flat. Now, this one, how many of us do doggy style, right? Doggy style can be a really good position. It's also a good position for hitting G spot too, especially if your partner's not already like hooked. If you got ladies, if you ever find a man that's hooked, like marry it. Okay. That thing will hit your G spot every time. But if your partner is not hooked in a doggy style position, are you be able to hit the G spot with that angle of going down? So in doggy style, you're going to lay flat. Okay, so don't have your butt in the air, lay flat. He's gonna go right on top of you flat with the motion of thrusting forward. Okay. Now, only disclaimer that I have on this is if you're someone that has a juicy booty, okay, and your partner is not very well endowed, they will not hit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ass to get through,
Right.
right? So if you have a partner who is well endowed and you do have a big butt, this is a great position for that grinding. And then the other one that's really good, you can do it two different ways. You can do a forward spoon or a backward spoon. So on your sides, kind of him behind you, cradling, giving that rocking motion. But I will tell you for a woman with mental, because we are mental, facing your partner with your leg over him sideways and doing it back and forth is a great one because you're able to kiss. You're able to kiss, you're able to have that connection, that little bit of intimacy. You can have, he can even grab your hair from the back and yank it backwards and get your neck. There's a lot close, tight visual for that helps, I would say, with women when it comes to orgasms. And then he can flip and toss you around into your other positions.
Yeah.
That's that's where I would start. I would start with those first four.
Those
Okay.
are the and I feel like too, it depends on how, like, big the guy is as well, or how not big he is, will depend on how those positions go. Because reverse cowboy for me with my husband would be painful. So, there are
Mm.
certain, if someone is a little too
So
well endowed,
with
it might be
so let's
painful.
go back to that. So if they are big, right? So say reverse cowgirl is they are big, lay forward,
Mhm.
right? So if your partner is really, really
Would it
well endowed,
bend,
so don't
like,
go, so like his head's back here, don't go
yeah?
back to him. Go all the way down.
Would
Almost
it
like
hurt
you're in a
him though?
yoga pose where you're
Because
kind of like ground
yeah,
because it allows you that as you're like here and here, you can slide as much as you want on to your partner without it jamming and hitting
right.
every time.
You think it
If
would hurt,
they're
like that?
Yeah, so go all the way towards his feet, almost like you're grabbing his ankles and leg towards down, because now you're gonna get a little bit more of an angle. Now, let's say you're in reverse cowgirl and he's got a small penis, right? So a lot of times you don't want to do that position because he pops out every time, and you're like, "Fuck, get back in there." So what you do is instead of going towards his feet, you go towards his head. So you put your hands on the side of his hips, bend your knees and put your feet flat. And now your back is towards him, but you're doing this downward motion because that position will help with smaller guys so that you don't lose it. It doesn't pop out. Because we've all been in that position where I don't know. I've had a good amount of sexual partners in my lifetime. I'm not a hoe, let's be real. And I don't even like that clarification, but I have been single majority of my adult life. I've had like a couple long-term really like you know me long enough. I've had a couple long-term relationships and I would say I have had every penis under the sun in regards to like
Shoot this.
micro to like I looked at it and was like, I'm not sitting on that. Like, that's not even going in me. Mm-mm. Maybe. Let me get some lube and I'll be back. I'm always willing to try anything once, right? But I would say that it's all about positions when it comes to with a partner. When it comes to by yourself with an orgasm, that's why I said explore. You have to find what you like. There's different toys that can do, like, there's new toys out there that you can actually stick on like a flat surface or a pillow and you can grind on them, and they're designed with like little tentacles out and tongues, and they make like all kind of stuff that you can do. A grinding toy, you could have like a bullet, you could have a penetration toy, you could even have a toy that does like clitoris, vaginal, and backdoor play all at once.
Yeah.
So like there's a whole variety when it comes to toys that I would say, and different positions. You have to find what works for you and your partner. Like, if I sit in an upwards doggy style position, it's not going to work, right? But now, let's go a little bit more leaning and a little bit more backwards motion with the C ring. You're welcome. You can scream my name. Like, oh, Tiffany! I could just see your husband right
He
now. I'm
would
like, did you
be
just say Tiffany?
very happy about that. Well,
I'll be
I
like,
guess
you're welcome.
I guess since we're on the subject, let's spend a little bit of time here just to, talk about lesbian play. I don't know anything about it, but you have, I'm sure, sold to people.
Okay, I was like, "You made it seem like I was a
Period.
lesbian."
But sold to people. So if we have, our lesbian
Mhm.
followers on here, um, or just bisexual followers that, are curious about like what's the best position. Because I have asked a couple of my lesbian friends, like, oh, so do you see like scissoring as a
Uh-huh.
thing? And several of them are like, no, we don't do that.
Yeah.
So
So
very
when it
curious what your clientele has said.
So, I it's a variety. I have some women that do like to do scissoring, and that is back to the grinding motion. Realistically, everything is the same motion, right? So her being on top and just grinding back and forth is what feels good because it's the clitoris that's hitting it, right? It's not so much you're going to find women that are like pounding it, like, nah. We're
Wonderful.
a little bit more sensitive with our stuff. And so when it comes to women, it's the same thing with another woman. Some women use strap-ons, and so they're going to do the same thing. You're going to have to pretend that your strap-on is just like your penis. And so it's the same thing for a woman. You still are finding those same positions that I gave that you can do in with a strap on as well. And same thing with toys. So, I mean, realistically, it doesn't change when it comes from men or women. The positions are still similar. I would just say women give a little bit more time to each other, and they are definitely more in tuned with their female partners when it comes to sex with another woman. They are definitely in tuned. And a lot of my clientele will tell me that all the time. They're like, I know exact position to put her in, but do you know why? It's because it's a woman.
Yeah. We
When
know our body, so
we
yeah.
know our bodies like that, and we know how our bodies are built, whereas a man doesn't really know a woman's body because he hasn't had this thing for 30 years, right? Same thing, like we don't know a penis because we haven't had one for 30 years. We all have envy and we all want one. Just because we want to do the helicopter, the elephant thing, that's the only reason I would want a penis. That would be it. Just to swing it and smack somebody with it. That's it. But that's my stripper days. I could do that like stripping or something.
Stand
Anyhow,
up.
just helicopter it. Yeah. Where you see the guy with the towel where he opens the towel and it like smacks. Like that has to be the most painfulest thing a man can do. You don't see me unhooking my bra and just wah. Like
Hey, I
it
hear you.
hurts after these sit in this for like 18 hours. Okay. It's a lot. Oh, look, I still have my size on.
Yeah.
I'm an extra large if anybody didn't know. I'm just gonna put it there. Thank you, Target, for putting it on the side. Uh, but yeah, it doesn't really change with positions when it comes to lesbian or home, normal
Yeah,
penis play. Now,
yeah,
what are some good tips that you would give women that are having a hard time climaxing because their brain is like overstimulated?
yeah. So, it might sound like kind of silly to even mention it. What are you looking for?
I was making sure. Oh, sorry. So you guys don't know, I have a puppy and it likes to eat things and pee and it brought me a wood thing that I have no clue where it came from. So something's missing a wood piece that she fucking chewed it off of. No, I was just looking to see where she was, that she wasn't destroying my house. She's sleeping. Okay. Sorry.
Tiffany and I are always, like, looking for our dogs. I'm like, "Let me find a place in the house where they're not barking."
Yeah, I'm
Um,
like, where's the kid? Where's the dog?
where's the kid?
Okay,
Okay,
back to the
so
climax. So having a hard time
yeah.
climaxing,
So,
what can we do?
yeah, a lot of it is it's, like, really tapping into your mental state and like try and the biggest thing is mindfulness, breathing, so like slowing down your breathing and like really getting in tune with your body, and taking like really deep breaths, and as you release that breath from your mouth, relaxing your shoulders and your fingertips, let your toes wiggle, and just try to tap into your body. You can actually kind of touch yourself. Tiffany is doing the demonstration.
I'm
Um,
relaxed.
And it doesn't have to be, you don't have to touch your intimate parts, but you could touch, your skin and just kind of, yes, your nipples, everything, just to kind of get in tune with your body in general. And then, when you have those racing thoughts going through your head, which I mentioned earlier, like acknowledge them, let them kind of go through and then float back out. Think of them as like, little bubbles and just like watch them pass you. It's important to acknowledge it instead of being like, oh, I don't want to think about that right now. Just
Yeah.
let it pass through, acknowledge it, be like, all right, this is just kind of like it's floating through, let it pass.
Mhm.
Um, but I like to get in touch with the five senses, right? Sight, smell, touch, taste, and what I sight, sound, taste, smell, touch. There you go. There's all of them. But like name them in your head while you're touching your partner. Maybe your partner uses a different kind of soap or a cologne, or, maybe they just jumped out of the shower. You can smell their deodorant. So like really taking in that deep breath of like how they smell. And then just touching different parts of their bodies. I'm a big hand person, you know, touching their arms and things like that, but then watching their hand touch you, you'll immediately stop thinking about the dishes and start thinking about, damn, he's got his hands on me or she has her hands on me, whatever. Um, and then, tasting, which is, licking
Mhm.
the skin and kissing your partner, things like that. So hopefully they taste good and they brush their teeth. And then so we've got touch and sight. You're looking at everything happening, you're feeling what's happening, you're smelling what's happening around you, you're hearing different things. So moan with your partner, and listen to them breathe, things like that. Are you getting horny? I know you
No, we're gonna talk about something, we're gonna sideline to that, but go ahead.
are. So really kind of like it getting mindful about what's about to happen. It's also hitting all of those erogenous zones in your body that are starting to excite you, and endorphins are kind of starting to release as well. So it's tapping into the physical as the mental is hitting um, that quiet space. But you have to communicate with your partner too, like, and I'm just gonna say it, and my hubby knows it, too much dirty talk for me. I'm just like, shut up. Please stop talking, because he needs that. He's like, "Oh, baby, blah, 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 blah." And I'm like, just breathe. Like, I just want to hear you breathe. Like, please stop talking. So you have to communicate with your partner too, because it is a distraction for me. It is major distraction. So going back into that, just like letting your partner know what you need to be able to feel in that safe space, feel quiet, feel like totally wrapped into all of your senses, and then everything else will just dissipate. And then
And
you can relax.
that was the sideline I was gonna do, is dirty talk,
Yeah. You know
because
how I
I
feel about
think I have a lot of clients that are like, "I don't know how to do dirty talk."
I don't
I don't either. I'm like, "Did you go to work today? Yeah? Was it a good day? Did you make that money?" Like, I'm not that good at dirty talk,
Yeah.
okay? I'm still learning, but I like the fact that I have had partners that are like, "I like when you say certain things," or, they certain people love hearing that they're a good girl. That I that's a kink. I think that's a kink. When you have someone that's choking you and you get ready to come and he's like, "That's a good girl." Mhm,
You
yeah,
like that?
okay. I don't know. I had one partner do it one time, and I was like, "Oh god," like, I came just from that. I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, shit, okay, thank you." I don't know why, that was the weirdest fucking thing to me. Or, like, some partners wanna be called daddy. First of all, I have a fucking father, I'm not calling you daddy. To me, like, it depends. I
And
like
that's why I don't like dirty talk too, because sometimes it can be very triggering. Like,
yes,
if there was something that somebody had said before, or like you said, thinking about daddy, or if there's a memory connected to that. I have a very bad memory with daddy, and we'll talk about that another time, but if I hear that word, we're done. Like, I will literally stop
yeah,
sex, and we are
yeah,
done, and probably
no.
done for a month.
And I
So,
would say I always tell women, try to keep it, like, simple. Like,
yeah,
does it feel good?
yeah. This feels so good.
Right.
Faster. I want
Describe
more.
his
Yeah,
his dick. Describe it. I
yeah.
like how your penis feels. I love when you go in and out with a tip. Now, if you wanna get into a little bit more, men love owning. So that's where you can be like, I don't know how I wanna put this. You could almost be like, when he's asking you, like, "Whose is it?"
Yeah.
Right? You can say it's
Yeah.
yours, or you saying it. I don't know what it is, but I get turned on by that, where I start asking them, like, "Whose pussy is this?" And then they're like, "It's mine." I was like, "No, motherfucker, it's mine. Ha."
Yes, you're right. I mean, that is a very big turn on for guys to
Mhm.
like,
Yeah, so you
"Who
can
is
start
this?"
there or saying, like, certain small keywords, yes, not every man wants to hear daddy, right? And please don't call me mommy.
Yeah.
That
Oh
I
god,
don't
that
get
would be over as well.
oh my god. I'd be like, "What?
Well,
Like,
and
you are
I
not
feel
my
like
kid."
sometimes guys will get into that and they'll, like, be like, "Who's your daddy?" type stuff. I mean, that's kind of cliche and, like,
Yeah,
funny, right? Like, "Who's your daddy?" I think there's shirts made about it, but if a guy
okay.
said that to me, again, it would be done and over with.
Yeah, because I think we look at ourselves as a little bit different. So to try to put mommy as like a sexual term, like even though yes, you can watch tons of different porn out there that have like stepmom and me, but if you're gonna do something like that, I think it would have to be role playing. You guys would literally have to be in a scene if you were gonna do like stepmom stuff or whatever, stepson
Yeah.
shit. Just calling me mommy, like, sometimes saying things can totally turn a woman off and disconnect. Like, perfect example. Okay, so I had a dick appointment. Yes, I have dick appointments. Okay. And so and I only do one dick appointment person per season, I guess you could say. I prefer to only have sex with one person. I don't like having sex with multiple people. If I'm dating people, it's only one person and that's it. So I have a gentleman that I used to see that I would go every Wednesday like clockwork and I would go to his house. It was a 2-hour session of a dick appointment and I'd leave satisfied every time. Towards the last two times we messed around, it just it wasn't fun anymore. And I think part of it was because the second to last time, I'm in the middle of having sex with him. I'm getting ready to have an orgasm. And he's like, "Do you love me?" And I was like, "What?
Yikes.
Like, what
Yeah.
do you say?" I'm like, "Yeah, I love you. I'm getting ready to come. Like, you're fucking my come up right now. God dang it." Right. And so he's like, "Do you love me?" And I was like,
Pulling.
"Right, I'm trying." And he's like, "Do you love me?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't even know your last name. I'm only here for the dick appointment. We have an understanding. We don't date each other. We just have sex and go home. Like it's done. So that I think really messed me up because the next time I went back, it was just kind of like, "Meh." I was
Yeah, and
like,
I
I'm not.
don't even think even being married, if my husband said that to me, I'd be like, "What? Choke me out or something." No.
Right. I'm trying to get there.
I think it's a weird thing to say. It takes like the intimacy to a whole different
Mhm.
level, you know? So,
Cause
yeah,
I look at
weird not to
their
say.
sex, which is like fucking, and there's intimacy in making love.
Yeah,
So, like, if I'm with my partner, there's those moments where I want that longer time and attention and longer, right? And then
group
there's the other moments.
poses and making out and
Yeah. But
yeah.
majority of the time, it's I want you to fuck me right now. You have 3 minutes because we have somewhere to be.
Yeah.
Like,
Knock that
so
shit and let's go. No, I
hit
know.
it and pound it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
I think
yeah.
careful with dirty talk. I mean, it is very arousing and it helps women get into that, but it can also lead back into her second guessing. Like you said, I don't know what to say. So what I say, I just keep saying, it's really hard. It feels good. Oh yeah, baby. It's really hard.
I think the best would be if you ever wanted to mess with a man's ego and you guys are doing it, you'd be like, "Are you in?" you imagine that guy? He would be so mad.
My
He'd be like,
gosh.
"I got the littlest dick," or "I'm gonna think I'm the loosest pussy
Be
out
like,
there."
"Listen, I watched these chicks on social, and she told me to do it."
I think we're gonna get text messages now. Stop
Yeah.
telling my wife to say that. "Well, did you do the dishes this week?" All right. So we talked about, like, things to do that are gonna help kinda get you in a good tip, and I one thing I tell my clients besides everything, because I get it from you too anyways, is, journaling. I do. I tell my clients, especially if they're having a hard time anytime they're intimate or by themselves to having an orgasm and they're just it's frustrating. I tell a lot of them, sit down, write everything out that's on your brain, and then go have sex or then go have an orgasm by yourself. Because sometimes just putting it out there and writing it, because I don't know about you guys, but like me, my brain is overstimulated with 5,000 things that I have to do because one, I don't do a to-do list. I should, but I don't. And so half the time stuff gets skipped because I didn't write it down and now I don't remember, but then it comes back to me later and I'm like, I was supposed to do that last week, now I got to push it to this week. So that's, a good thing is journaling, writing things down so it helps clear your mind so that you're
Especially if
able.
you're, like, about to have sex, if you know he's coming or you're gonna go over there, you better start clearing your mind. So
Mhm.
journaling is really it goes into that whole mindfulness of preparing yourself.
Yeah. Like I know when I go, like if I go to like a dick appointment, I totally have to put on like some sultry fucking music. Normally, I put on, like, good sex music, and I use my wipes. So I have these really cool pH balance wipes that I sell. They're called Cleanse with Benefits. They have, like, a peppermint filling to it. So it's a wipey, and so when you wipe yourself, it gets cool down there, and it starts tingling. I am, like, wiping myself in the car on the way. That thing is, like, ready to go. Because as soon as I get in, I don't wanna talk and hear about your day. I came here for one thing, business. Get down to it, because I gotta go home.
Yeah, and, like, depending on your lifestyle too, even if you're married, you might be down to the wire of the kids are in a nap for a half hour more, and we need to hurry, and
Yeah, and those wipes are great. I'm telling you, put them in your purse like you go to dinner. You can put them in the car, you can put them anywhere and just use them, and it just kinda helps it gets the nerve ending spiked and helps bring some blood flow down there and get you excited so that you're ready to go. That's what I love about them.
yeah.
So, is it healthy for a woman to continue to do self-pleasure? What does it do long term to your brain?
Well, there's different, like, articles and, um different studies that have been done about how, if a woman uses toys, then it can take away from her actually enjoying it and things like that. But everybody's body is different. And that's all I'm going to say. I think that if you, if I were to masturbate and then I knew that my husband and I were going to be intimate later, that'd be stupid because I'm already setting myself up for not being as excited later. So I don't I wouldn't recommend doing it earlier that day when you know you're going to do it later with him, with whoever your partner is later that day, unless they happen to surprise you and you're like, "Damn it, I masturbated." Shit,
Right.
I'm gonna have a hard time today. But try to avoid it in those circumstances. But I don't think that, I mean, unless it's becoming an addiction to where you feel like you need to go see a counselor about it, then I think that it's healthy because, we can't always achieve sex from I mean, I'm sorry, we can't achieve pinnacle just from having sex. So, me personally, I like to use a toy and my husband is okay with that. Not all men are okay with that, which I feel like should be a discussion between you 2 because if he and it has nothing to do with you men, by the way. It's not doesn't matter about your size or what you're doing or not doing. Yes, could you help a little bit more? Yeah, but if you have something about you physically that is just not going to reach that climax and you have to bring a toy in there, okay, you should be okay with it because otherwise she's going to fake it, just like on Bridgerton. And then you're going to have to walk away feeling like you're macho because you feel like you did something, but you really didn't. So I think it's important for a man to like kind of embrace that. And if you don't want to use it, then watch her use it
Right.
or use it on her afterwards or something like that. But unless it becomes an addictive thing, I don't think it's a problem. I think that, like I said, there's all kinds of studies of where people will say, oh, well, it actually takes away from you being able to achieve it. I don't think that that's true for somebody who cannot achieve it, anyways.
Right. No, I'm with you on that. I think if you know that you and your partner are gonna be intimate later, then definitely don't. You wanna be able to save that with your partner, unless you're someone who has a partner that you lie to them every time that you're having an orgasm and you're not. Then
Yeah.
that becomes that's an issue for your relationship. You need to be upfront and honest. I will say for single girls, there are studies that have been shown that actually having an orgasm as a woman prior to going on a date sets your date up for an actual positive review.
Yeah.
And a
You
lot
know,
of times women well, think about it, like, if we're on a first time date and sometimes women are just like, you get excited, you meet this guy, you're, like, hitting it off, and then it's like, "Oh my god, we're gonna go back to the house," and I'm just you know, because 'cause we're adults and we can have sex on the first date and not be judged, but what if that's not what you wanna do? Have an orgasm before you go on the date, then you won't feel that desire to have to go home with that person, right? Because you already did it. Um, when
and
it
the
comes
dopamine's there, so you're in a better
Oh,
mood,
yeah.
you
It
know.
shows that it actually releases better. Personally, I have an orgasm anytime I go on an actual date. Now, a date and a meetup are 2 different things. So when I dating, right, I like to do a meetup.
Shower and the rinse off.
Yeah, a rinse off. Her and her rinse offs. I like to do a meetup where it's literally 1 hour of, like, either coffee or a drink and seeing if I'm vibing with this person in real life, because realistically, all of us are doing online dating. Except for me, I got off that shit because I am emotionally unavailable.
Right
So I'm
now.
not doing any dating at all. But I used to just meet somebody and would go meet for coffee or something, see if it kind of worked, and then we could plan a date. And if I went on that first date, I would definitely have an orgasm before I met that person. Because
Yeah.
then it makes it easier to get to know that person. And I'm not hamped up with smells and scents and turned on because I already had an orgasm. When it comes to toys, though, I would say that it is a what's the best way to put it? For men, I would say when it comes to using toys on women, it's more of a generational thing. It's also older men don't really understand toys. Some of them are starting to get into it. I also think it's a nationality thing. Like a lot of Hispanic men, especially older men, are like, no, no toy for her. I'm everything she needs. Well, that would be true, but sometimes adding a toy into a bedroom can actually help with multiple different things. So, and I don't think people understand that like weight gain and as you get older is actually a hormonal issue too. And so having orgasms regularly can actually help balance out some of your hormones too. So that's an important thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would
Tiffany and I are not doctors,
no.
we are specialists in our field and licensed in our fields. If you're genuinely concerned and these things that we're giving you advice on are not helping, go see your doctor and get things checked out. Like your hormones, if especially if you're a woman and you're not feeling horny or really not able to achieve or not feeling anything when you have any kind of sensations down there. I think
Yeah.
it's to figure out what's going on, always check
Oh,
yourself
yeah,
out.
100%, and women can go see a gynecologist, you can even see a sex therapist, like, there's a variety of people that you guys can go see, you can even do couples therapy, and even a couples therapist, even someone like Jay who could do, like, a family session, could even have a conversation with your husband about using toys for the first time, and help with breaking that into the bedroom, right?
Help you guys
But, yeah,
communicate better. Yeah.
I think the big thing with female orgasms is we have to remember that it takes time. You need to make sure that you're understanding that your mind is connected to your coochie, okay? So
And
you
you're
need to make sure clearing it out, right? And don't be afraid to explore your body and find things that you like. And I would say another thing too, don't be afraid to shy off from something that you might not know you liked. And that's why I always have a golden rule that you should try everything at least twice. Because the first time is a uh-oh, I didn't mean for that to happen. And then the second time is like, okay, let's plan it, right? And you know what I'm talking about, backdoor play. Okay. I think women should experience backdoor play without a penis. They should be using like either a plug or a toy because there's tons of different nerve endings back there that can actually help with hitting different sensations for an orgasm. And so that's why I tell everybody, don't yuck someone else's yum. Just because you haven't tried it doesn't mean you might not like it, right? So there are things you can't shy away from, like try it. You might actually enjoy it, and it might be one of those once in a while we'll do kind of things, you know? Same thing with like S&M. Blindfolds are a great way of starting out for orgasms on a partner for men and women, right? Because you enhance your sensitivity. But it's something that most people would be like, you're not blindfolding me. Yes, I am. Give me your tie, right? Or tying someone up. Like these are different things that you can all experience, but a lot of people
Again,
shy
unless
away
it's
from them.
something triggering, if unless it's something that,
Right. Of course.
brings up some really
Mhm.
traumatic things that might have happened to you in the past. So just,
100%.
obviously communicate with your partner, but yeah.
But that's the biggest thing I think is that the communication is not happening with partners and they need to talk about it, right? You know, that's something you need to talk about. Like, hey, I don't want to be restrained. Like, I did enough jail time in my life. I'm
Well, Tiff, as we wrap up, do we want to give some shout outs to people who were on YouTube? Don't forget to like leave us questions or, comments in the and we'll
yeah.
give you a shout out
Yeah,
and be able to see you here.
we had some good comments. David made a comment for us on YouTube that he loved what we're talking about and is happy that we're talking about it, and is excited for the podcast. Melinda was another one who loved the second episode and really had a good time with it. We had a couple people on like TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook make like little comments on our clips and really liked it. So the biggest thing to do and the best compliment to us is to share it with your friends and, making sure that people hear about this because realistically, we're doing this for fun. This is something fun that we thought would be a great idea of
Our
just
hangout time, but we're turning it into educational stuff for you guys too.
that we talk about sex because we would talk about this even if we weren't on podcast.
Which is where we came up with the idea
That's
because
how we came up with the idea. Yeah.
not
Talk about it. But
already.
I think today was a good episode. If you guys haven't watched Bridgerton, season 4, episode
So
4,
far,
41 minutes is
yeah,
where you'll find the sex
you'll
scene where
find
she
the fake.
goodness.
Yes.
Realistically, go watch the whole series because it'll help. If you're like me, I can't watch something mid and then like try to pick up because my brain, yeah, but I'm like, who are these people? Why
Yeah, very
real
controversial.
controversial on it. So
Well, they bring a modern take into it, so it's cool.
I know. See, I'm the one that's like, I gotta watch it from the beginning because now I'm gonna have to watch it to be like, why is this bitch faking it? We gotta talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I hope you guys appreciate our episode and thanks for coming again.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.